Greetings. Welcome to another episode of Geek Talk. My name is Sabrina Lowery, and I am affectionately known as the Tech Evangelist, bringing you nothing but positive vibes. And we are giving entrepreneurs expert knowledge. So I'd love to know where you're tuning in from today, and shout out to all of those live streamers coming in across all the multiverse. They have Facebook coming in, YouTube coming in, LinkedIn coming in, and a little behind the scenes for my IG family. So thank you so much for tuning in and being here. I want you all to know that we have a very special guest coming in to celebrate Women's History Month with us. So while we get it going and we get this live stream conversation, give me just a moment to do a little infomercial. Thank you. This segment is brought to you by Sabrina Lowery Enterprises, where we do all things tech. We provide technology and solutions for small business owners, entrepreneurs, and those that struggle with their tech savviness. If you are looking for a fractional chief technology officer to support your digital needs, to give you the strategies, the support that you need in order to not just set up the foundation of your business with the applicable tech tools, but to also help you manage those systems, processes, and create those workflows along the way. I want you all to go and check out Build Your Business Like a Boss.com to learn more about this opportunity. And we are going to continue this celebration of Women's History Month. So let's jump in while we greet our audience. We want to make sure that you know to post your comments and questions for our very special guest. And she's no stranger to most of my audience, but I want her to come in and reintroduce herself because the accolades, the credentials, the prestige, and the followers that she has and the content that she brings is nothing short of perfection. And I want you all to meet my amazing sister friend, Billie Parrott. Billie, welcome to Geek Talk.
Hello, everybody. Wow, Sabrina, I was like, I just need to take you with me to every presentation and just have you say that spiel. I was like, wow, that makes me kind of feel nice.
I love that so much. And I do love you. I genuinely do from the bottom of my heart, who you are through and through. So, with that being said, Billie, tell the people what you do and who you do it for.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so many things. So my name is Billie Parrott. I live here in Billings, Montana, and I'm a mother of three. I've been married to my husband for, it will be 30 years this year, which is crazy to think about that. Yeah, I'm just working and living. I sell real estate. I'm a real estate broker owner. Just celebrated my first year as a broker owner in February, so that was exciting. I've been doing it for 17 years and I love leadership. Like I just got off my presidency of our Billings Association of Realtors here last year, and it was amazing. It was definitely one of my goals to do, and we made a lot of great positive changes. And that's one of the things I enjoy about leadership is stepping into something, seeing what needs to be fixed and fixing it. We're kind of fixers. So yeah, I'm also running for first vice president right now for CRS National, which is RRC National, which is kind of crazy. I'm going to be heading to Celebration this week for the last part of our campaigning. But yeah, it's been fun. I've been in all sorts of aspects of leadership. I graduated from the National Association of Realtors Leadership Academy, as well as our state leadership academy. So love it. I just love being part of it and just trying to make things better where I can.
Ah, that's so good, Billie. And congratulations, honey, because when I tell you, I can say, I remember when. I
Yeah.
remember when you talked about doing the great things that you are doing. And so I am here to give you your flowers. I am here to celebrate you on this episode of Women's History Month celebrations. And in honor of you, I want you to just tell our audience, what is Billie's superpower? What is it that you want people to Google you for and remember you as?
I would say authentic storytelling is my superpower. Like, I'm not afraid to just put it all out there. And I think because of that, people can connect with me in one way or another, right? So it's either in business with leadership stuff or, my creative side, which I'm a dancer and I love community theater and acting and presenting and things like that. Also, I just started, doing the professional speaker circuit about, I think it's been like 2 or 3 years now, and I've really been enjoying that. So I also connect with those folks too. So I think it's just throwing things out there, being me, and letting people know that you can be you. Like, don't be scared of what other people are going to think of you, because I don't. And that's why I'm not scared to put things out there. And I've had a lot of people come to me after I teach my video storytelling class. They're like, wow, thank you. Or they've gone live for the first time because they were afraid of how they looked on the screen. It's like, girl, that's how you look. Just do it. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's most satisfying when I go out and teach these classes, is that I'll touch somebody and make them get outside of their comfort zone. And I think that's probably another superpower of mine, is I help nudge that person to just do it, So that's been kind of fun.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to clip that. So,
Yeah.
superpower, the nudger. That is what we're going to be remembering Billie as, the storyteller and the nudger. I love that. So, when you actually decided to choose your speaking topics, because I could remember when, right? So, let's just kind of go back. Let's go back and tell the Billie Parrott story, shall we? Let's do a little dance with our audience and tell them how you are now this phenomenal leader in the world of real estate, but even beyond real estate, you are a leader in your community, Billie. So take us back. Like, how did you grow up? Was there somebody leading the pack around the Parrott pack and so on and so forth? Or was that just your innate God-given superpower?
Yeah, it's funny. I was just, oh, gosh, I think I was talking to my husband about this, because I was kind of looking back. And I was like, wow, I've really like come a long way, right? So I grew up in a Navy household. My dad was in the Navy, so I was what we call a Navy brat, right? And so we would move every 4 years. Well, that meant I had to make new friends, start a new school, new surroundings, like all and I look back at it now and it's like, well, that's kind of like what helped me become who I am, right? Yeah, at the time it was like, oh, we got to move again, and I got to leave my friends and I got to start over. But looking back, that's really what has helped me adapt to change, right? Like, and also culture. Like, I can talk to anybody. Like, put someone in front of me and I can connect with them in some way. And I think it's because of my background. I had to meet new people constantly. And yeah, and I'll get real with you a little bit. Authentic storytelling. I didn't grow up in the best situation, right? We were low income. My parents were alcoholics. It just was not like probably the best upbringing, but I always knew that there was something better. Like, I moved out of my house when I was 16, and just started on my own at 16 and worked and just clawed my way up the ladder, and I wasn't going to let anything stop me no matter what. So yeah. And now
That's
my
true.
oldest daughter, she got a full ride. She went to the University of Chicago on a full ride scholarship, and now she's in New York living her best life. And my son, my middle son, he's doing his thing with music, and then my youngest daughter, she's in cheer competition. So it's so cool to be able to be that mom that is supportive and like helping uplift them and support their dreams. So yeah, it's kind of
I
fun.
love that. And thank you so much for sharing and being transparent, because you know what? That story probably let somebody else know they have permission to tell their truth as
Yeah.
well. And
Yep.
unapologetically, right, with no fear. So in what unique challenges have you faced as a woman in business, unlike those obstacles you overcame growing up, Billie? Tell
Yeah.
everybody a little bit about that process.
Yeah. So before real estate, for the real estate world, I used to work in advertising marketing, right, for a like a classified paper. And so my main clientele were car dealers, farm and equipment. So I was dealing with men on a constant basis. And of course, as a woman, they don't take you seriously, right? And so I really had to prove that, hey, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't mean that I can't sell this piece of equipment or, do a good job for you on your ads that you want to do for your car lots. And really showing them that they need to respect me, right? Because some of them would be a little bit unprofessional, because that was just that world. And I let them know right away, boundaries. You've got to set boundaries. Like, no, you will not talk to me that way. In fact, I always have this funny story. I had a client of mine. He was a car dealer, and he one day, like, there was a few times that he would just kind of go off on me, and I would take it, and I'm like, whatever. Well, one day I finally had enough, and I said, you know what? You're not going to talk to me that way, and I'm leaving. And I left, and I never went back. Well, months later, he called my boss and was begging me to come back. And he apologized to me and said he was sorry, but I think it was like letting them know, like, no, like, you're going to have respect for me as I have respect for you, and set those boundaries right up front. So sorry, I just kind of went on a tangent there, but
No, that's okay. I was behind the scenes working on some of the technology because I'm looking at the streams and it may not be appearing on my Facebook. So
oh,
I just want to give our audience just a little bit of moment,
yeah,
because I know for sure we are live on YouTube. I'm watching that broadcast live, but I want to bring the audience in from your live, which I saw just a moment ago. So give us just a moment. And
yeah.
Billie, while I'm working on the technology behind the scenes, talk about how you stay motivated, girl, because I see you jet setting around the world, and tell the people some nuggets, maybe two or three things that will also help them stay motivated in their leadership journey when
Yeah.
they're overcoming those obstacles.
Yeah. It can get a little, so I would say leadership is probably the most thankless job, right? Like, you think you're going to get all this praise and appreciation when you're putting all this time and effort. And, a lot of this is volunteer. We don't get paid to do this. So know that going in, like, hey, I don't need an award. I don't need to be constantly pat on the back, right? I just need to know that I made a difference in some way or inspired someone to step up into a leadership role, which I've seen over time. And that's what's fulfilling for me. Or seeing people that, like, I just don't know if this is for me. And then, they come to a committee meeting, or, they come to their first board meeting, and they're like, wow, I can actually make a difference. Like, my voice is being heard. So I think that's been satisfying. As far as motivation, boy, I think that I'm always trying to better myself every day and just outdo what I've already done. Like, I always have FOMO, fear of missing out. So I think that's one of the reasons too why I'm always just, I've got to do this, I got to do that. Like, I can't miss out. Like, and yeah, sometimes I'm like, okay, I got to scale back a little bit, because I am always traveling lately, and I love to travel, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I just want to be home in my own bed, right? But yeah, and I really like to work out, and that actually helps me with my health, and mental health and physical health, obviously. So I'll get up early in the morning, like at 4:45 a.m. every morning. I go to spin class, or I'll go to the gym. And because if you can do the hardest part at the beginning of the day, then you can do anything. So kind of like eating the frog, right? Like you just get that hard exercise out of the way, and then you can just do the rest of the day. So
That's
yeah,
right.
and
That's
and really just being able to show my kids a good example of what can be accomplished if you put your mind to it, I guess, is probably the biggest motivation.
That's the part I like, Billy, because I also, being a mompreneur, having to travel and do things, it does sometimes fall upon guilty conscience. Oh,
Yes.
I might miss. FOMO is real. And
Yes.
I've had literally one travel occasion you might happen to remember when I came to Montana, happened to be one of my son's band concerts. And you talk about the mom guilt. That was the first time he made me feel it and said it verbally, vocally.
Yep.
So, these are the things that when you're on a leadership journey, those are the sacrifices that we make. But on the other side of the challenges are the accolades, are the rewards, are those keynotes that we've been dreaming of. So, what I want you to do, honey, is talk about those stages that you've dreamt of being
Oh,
on. I remember back during our mentoring journey what that conversation and that vision board looked like. Tell everybody what you did and how we worked together through that time in your life.
yeah. I remember sitting with you at, I think it was Doc Harper's here in Billings. Well, that was before we went to the Crystal Lounge and did some karaoke. But I remember you sitting there just basically telling me, just do it, girl, just do it. And really, push me to, not let that imposter syndrome get me, because I admired you. I admired other speakers that I've seen. There's the Carrie Joe Littles, there's the Marky Lemons, and I really like aspired. I was like, wow, these women are amazing on the stage, and that's something that I want to do eventually, right? Um, so yeah, I kind of forgot what your question was. It's kind of went off on that memory.
It's okay because we were talking about your leadership journey, right? As the
Yeah,
leader,
yeah.
because you overcame the obstacles, you've got the wellness in check, but now you've made keynote stages.
So the
That's what I was
teaching,
asking. Yeah,
that's
like
it.
I've
Yeah,
seen you celebrating the fact that you're doing some of these speaking engagements.
yeah,
So you overcame the imposter syndrome and
yeah. So I let the imposter syndrome get to me for a while. So there is an agent here in town, and she had opened up a Montana real estate school. And she, knowing about my social media, she's like, "Hey, we really need someone to teach about social media, and I think you would be great." And I'm like, "Huh?" And so she's like, "Why don't you put together a class outline and a presentation, and we'll have you audition, and if you get it, then we'll start having you speak in Montana." And I'm like, "Okay." And so like it took me 6 months to finally sit down and figure out a class outline, then figure out the presentation slides. And then after that, it was a whole year from the time that she asked me to the time I had everything done, sent it in, got it approved for CE. And then once that happened, it just went like crazy, because then I was just like throwing my stuff everywhere, like, hey, just um, submitting proposals. And I got one of the stages I wanted to be on was triple play in Atlantic City, and I got it last year, and I was like, what? It was insane. And so that was like a big like deal for me. I was like, triple play, that was one of the big ones that was definitely a goal for me, and I just did not think the first time submitting I would get it, and there I
that's
was.
that imposter. That's that imposter.
Yeah.
That's that limiting belief. And that is something that we talked about when we worked together because it
Yep.
did. It required the mindset work first. It was the belief that, oh, I can get on that stage, like you said. And it wasn't even about emulating someone before you, it
Mhm.
was bringing Billy authentically her. I've
Yeah.
seen the B-roll, I've seen the videos, I know what you're bringing to these rooms. And so I want you to talk about the journey as a broker. Let's segue and clip that part of the conversation.
Mhm.
And so, we did our little speaker journey, but you also built a whole brokerage, ma'am.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm still like, huh? What did I do? No, so I started real estate back in 2009, and I started at Century 21 here in Billings. And I so my realtor at the time, because I was working, at the advertising marketing place, and the realtor at the time that I had when we bought our first house, she's like, "You really should think about real estate." And I'm like, what? No, like, no, thank you. Like, I'm good at my job. Well, then things started changing. And so then I really started to really think about it. Well, fast forward, I said, okay, let's do this thing. And, 2009, you remember 2009, probably like the worst time to start real estate, right? And even my boss was like, he says to me, I won't cuss, but he says, "Are you kidding me?" When I told him that I was quitting. Like, he goes, "Are you stupid?" Like, he was like yelling at me and mad at me. And I just like, yeah, I guess I am. And I walked out of the office, and I never looked back. And so I was there for about 9 years, and then I moved to a couple of the smaller, boutique brokerages, and they were great, but there was just still something missing for me, that creative freedom. And I was just like, why not? Like, and I talked to Barb Betts. I don't know if you know Barb Betts.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
I had lunch with her, just like I had done with you, sitting across the table, and was telling her that I was thinking about it, and she's like, "Do it. Just what's stopping you? Just do it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard." And I was like, "Okay." so I did it, and yeah, it's been a year later and still rocking.
Yeah, I love that. I love that your journey has been nothing but elevation and that whole build as we climb and go and grow.
Yeah.
So now we have the brokerage and we have the family business. We have the children. Everybody's settled. So let's talk legacy. Let's talk next chapter. We are women of a certain age. And so let's talk about what's next for Billie. What's that looking like for the future?
Hmm. That's a good question. I just think about getting up every day, not being in pain. No, I really think that I want to continue with the speaker journey. I really enjoy it, because I think what it does is it really does bring the leadership, the real estate, and the creative, performer in me all in one. And I think that's really why it resonates with me so much, and I'm passionate about it, because I love changing people's lives, and I love being on the stage. You like, hand me a mic and good luck getting it back. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that, alongside my brokerage, and growing a good team, I think those two things are probably when I'm really going to start, working towards making it better.
Yeah. So this is the part that I could not wait to talk to you about as a leader, because this was my journey as well, right? When you decided to go solo on your own as a brokerage,
Mhm.
but then you also made decisions about your leadership journey for the NARs and the BARs and the MARs of the world.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, audience, those are real estate acronyms.
Yeah.
Just so you
Yeah.
know what we're talking
I
about.
think I think
We're
it's
over
funny, the
here
bar.
food, right? So
We're going to the
that is
bar.
the National Association of Realtors, Billings Association of Realtors, and Montana Association of Realtors, by the way. So I want to know, how did you manage that? Because a little bit of self-care was lacking, if I recall, right?
Um, well, as far as like how much time I was putting into it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was running and gunning a lot between all my leadership roles. Yeah, and I just have to make sure, like, my biggest thing is, because I am doing this and that, and I'm traveling and all this, is just making sure that I keep my working out schedule right, like not letting that falter, because it's easy to get exhausted at these conferences. And it's funny because my kids are always like, "Oh, you're going on vacation again." It's like, you don't even know like what I do at these things. I mean, they call it networking for a reason, because it's work, and your battery gets drained. And so you have to know when it's okay to just take a few minutes, go to your hotel room or go outside, touch some grass, and have quiet and stillness, right? And I've been trying to be more conscious about that. Like, okay, I'm starting to get tired or worn out. I just need to take a minute to myself, and that's okay. And you have to know that that's okay to do. Um, and just, continuously, I always take my workout clothes with me when I travel. I make sure I work out. My daughter finally saw what her mama does. This last, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I had a speaking gig in Jacksonville. Well, we were in Denver at her cheer comp. So we basically flew from Denver to Jacksonville, and she had to go with me. And so she got to see, like, it's not a vacation, honey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, mama's working.
Yeah.
But that was cool.
I got to jump in on that. How did that feel? Did you ask her for some feedback? Because I remember when my son came to see me for my keynote for NAR in Orlando, and this was 2022. So what I know what his feedback was for me, but I'm curious to hear what your daughter's feedback was.
I want to know what he said too. But yeah, I said, so what do you think of your mom's of her thing? She goes, it's kind of boring. I was like, thanks. I go, what was boring about it? She goes, I don't know. I didn't understand anything you were saying. And she was just like, I was laughing so hard. I was just like, okay. It was boring. I'm like, great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And how old was she at that time seeing you for
13.
the first time?
13.
So, okay, so 13 versus, my child was an adult. So definitely a different reaction.
Yes.
Okay, so I get that. And Caleb has seen me do some things, but I kind of get the ratings as if I were a flick, a movie, like, oh yeah, 3 stars, 2 apples, or orange and a banana, mom, whatever that looks like. But my oldest, who is a performer, he is in a rock band, right? And so to command the audience, that was his pearl clutching moment.
Okay.
He was like, okay, mom, I see you. I see the way you commanded 1,500 people in the room. That was boss.
That's awesome. I love that.
I love that, like very, very he get it from his mama. So, I watch his shows. Like last night, I was watching his show, and I just watch how he commands the room and the mic and all that type thing. And that takes bold leadership, because there is a very small percentage of leaders that like public speaking or being in front of a mic, let alone on camera, on video, in pictures and movies for that matter. So, there's that part of it. But once you get rid of the imposter syndrome, what I've been told is that acting is the best form of therapy for not only imposter syndrome, but for public speaking. So all of the people that are out there thinking that Toastmasters is the only end all be all to overcome their fear of speaking, a good acting class, an acting coach, a debate coach, that is what you need. That's what part of my journey was, because when it came time to do that keynote for the first time, and that was around that time when you and I were hanging out, that 2022 time frame.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was getting practice on, say it like this, a little less of that kind of thing, because I can be super animated when I talk. So it was, make sure you know which audience it is that you're serving when you're bringing all of the Sabrina energy. And sometimes you need that person that goes along that journey and that ride with us, right?
Yeah, and I love that because my son is also, into music and performs, and I saw him for the first time performing, and I was like, oh, it was like a proud mama moment for you, right? Like when you saw him on
Absolutely.
the stage, it's just like, oh, it just makes you
Absolutely.
feel good. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then when they do and they see the reward, but it's almost we started, look, we're going right back to the conversation with we lead as we've done, right?
mhm,
Lead by example. I always tell people I try it before I buy it. So when it
yeah,
comes to my services and business, I'll give the people a little try before they buy, but they gonna have to buy because the services cannot always be free. That is a
no,
volunteer, and I
right.
have not signed up to be volunteer of the year, right? I've gotten these awards and these accolades and these credentials behind me as a result of hard work, right? You see
Yep.
them over there in the studio.
Yep.
Yeah. Credentials, right? Yes. Hi, IG. I see y'all here with me. Hi, cousin. So let's take a pause for the clause and clip that part of the conversation, Billy. Thank you so much for that. I
Yeah.
want to give some shout outs. We've got some love in the house backstage, and I want y'all to know that we are live with Billie Parrott. Y'all follow Billie in B Town on Instagram, and she is also on Facebook, and we are live on LinkedIn and YouTube. So, this podcast will be broadcast and available on your favorite podcast platforms within the next 24 hours. Just go look for Geek Talk with Sabrina Lowery and Friends because Geek is an acronym for Giving Entrepreneurs Expert Knowledge. And that is the audience that we're here to serve. And so, as we wrap our third segment, Billy, let's
Oh,
go into
wow.
that conversation. Okay. So, this is really what I was really excited for us to talk about when we went into the So What's Next for Billy. So, what is the biggest trend that you see as an opportunity for women in business right now? Remember, we are still in celebration of Women's History Month. So,
Mhm.
lay down a few tips or some resources that you may know of, whether it's in the real estate industry or otherwise.
Yeah, I would say whatever it is, whoever's watching, and if there's something that you have been wanting to do and are afraid to do it, I mean, just do it. Just do the dang thing. If you fail, you fail. But wouldn't you rather fail at trying something than never trying it at all? I think that's the biggest thing that I'm seeing right now are people realizing that life is too short. We don't have much time on this floating ball in space, right? So why not, like, what are you afraid of? What's the worst that can happen, right? Like with me with the speaking, I was scared the first time. I will tell you my first. Okay, let me tell you, my first speaking gig was here in Montana, and the tech wasn't working, like my videos weren't playing, like, and I was panicking, like I was sweating, I was panicking, and I just kind of like whoo, and I figured it out and I got through it, and it was fine, nobody died, like, you know what I mean. I walked out of there, people were loving it, there were a couple people that said that, it was like but most of the people, because you always focus on the bad negative comments, right? Like you don't focus on the other majority of the positive, you focus on that one. But it was scary,
That's right.
and it was not perfect, but I did it. And it's been 2 years since that first one, and here I'm on national stages now. I even did an international in Spain, like, so I would say just do it. Just do the dang thing. Don't be scared. Don't let fear stop you, because what could you possibly miss out if you don't do it?
Yeah, so I like that. So here's the bigger nugget, right? So it's the I love when people motivate us with the do it anyway, but I want you to tell them how to do it. Okay, let's be intentional with our time, Billy. We're leaders here, right? So let's just be candid and frank with the people because they know us, right? They like us and they trust us. And so if we have an opportunity to come before them and drop some entrepreneurial knowledge and help them shortcut a little bit and be able to say, Thank you, Billy and Sabrina, because I needed that today.
Mhm.
What did that process look like for you to submit those speaker applications and get chosen? Tell them that process, Billy. Is
Yeah.
it the I needed to have a speaker reel? I needed to have a speaker one sheet. I needed to have a rate at which I charge. Give the people the speaker business blueprint like I did with you.
Yeah. So I think what helped me a lot was that, I was part of our education committee. So I got to meet people like you and, other speakers like Jeffrey Scott Stanton and make those connections with other people. So maybe you're not wanting to be in the speaker realm, you want to be in something else. Find those people that are involved in what you want to be involved in and connect with them, because that's what I have found that has opened the doors for me is those connections, right? You know, I think you're friends with J-Man, right? I saw him once here. He came to Montana, and I was like, oh, and we've been friends ever since. And I asked him questions or Jeffrey questions. I've talked to you about things, and so I think it's making those connections and not being afraid to just try something, even if you're not going to get paid. Like just try it and experience it, because one door will open. Oh, my light just went off. Hold on one second. One
Sure.
door.
That's okay. So
Uh,
while Billy gets situated, I just wanted to shout out one of my very favorites, Carrie Joe Little in the building, y'all. What's up, Carrie Joe? You were here visiting us for our Georgia Realtors Conference, and we did not get a photo op, sis.
oh no.
I'm gonna call you out on that one, but no love lost. So shout out to the phenomenal woman who needs to appear on another episode of Geek Talk, by the way. I'm coming to you, sis, so that you can also be here. So hey girl, hey. Thank you for being here. And so, let me bring Billy back into the conversation. There she is, all light
Hey,
and
Carrie, I was just talking about you earlier. That's so funny.
exactly,
But
exactly.
yeah, but no, sorry, my light went off in my office. It's like a motion sensor. But yeah, I think that, I don't have like a real like answer, because everybody's going to be different of what they want to do. But I think it's just knowing that one door is going to lead to another open door, to another open door. And that's how I got to where I am, is just stepping into those rooms that I needed to be in, meeting those people that I needed to meet, and making those connections. And that's, really what triggered everything.
Yeah, and that's part of the process, everyone. So basically, what we're saying is if you're properly prepared, you won't have a poor performance. And so that's one of my favorite quotes. It is in one of my books, Entrepreneur's Blueprint for Digital Dominance, available on Sabrina Lowery.
That book.
And I literally want everybody to know that goes back to that old saying you hear people with the you don't have to get ready if you stay ready, because they're talking about that preparation piece. So if you are properly prepared, you can perform at any given time. And if it's a topic that you're passionate about as a leader, it'll be nothing for you to be called on to do those speaking engagements. And then if you're good and they know you, they like you, and now they've established trust with you, that credibility is what opens the door to the next opportunity. So I also found that to be true, which is how I landed the stage at your Association of Realtors in Billings, Montana,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it definitely takes that. And I also want us to talk about collaboration, because I've been on my what am I doing this research, let's call it. Okay, I am doing a keynote on Saturday,
Oh.
and my topic is on women collaborating, because I'm not seeing it like I used to. Okay, so what's happening in the industry with women doing business with each other and referring each other when we're not in the same rooms with each other to do business with one another, but rather feel this spirit of competition instead of collaboration. Can we talk about that a little bit, Billy? And what is your feeling? Are you feeling that in your neck of the woods, or is that just over here in the dirty South?
Yeah, it's uh, you're hitting a spot here for me. No, I don't know what it is. because I'm like you. I am all about collaboration over competition, right? Like let's work together to make things better. But I don't like, especially in my area, and I'm sure people that are watching this in my area are going to be like, "What is she talking about?" But I honestly found that the more that and it's going to sound weird that I'm saying this, but the more that I have elevated, I've lost friends. Does that make sense? Like the more that I've been on these national stages and doing national things, my local friends have just gone away. Like I don't have my local people, and I don't know why that is. And it's weird. So I don't know. I don't know why that is. Like instead of supporting and be like, yeah, cheerleaders, it's just silent. And
Mhm.
I've always and it's disheartening because I feel like I have always really tried to elevate these people and like push them to be better or support them to move towards leadership positions and things like that. And then to get that, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm in a
It is
weird spot right now about that, but I'm just like, you know what? I can't worry about it. I just have to keep doing what I'm doing, and the people that are meant to be around me are going to be around me. So,
So
yeah.
here's that. Okay, so I'm in that same place, right? Where I have had to say no thank you to several organizations and boards because it's not in alignment with what I'm trying to do. First of all, I am not for free. There has to be a rule that you cannot expect a business owner to take time out of their business to come support your business for free. There has got to be a love offering or something from the ministry, if you will. You get what I'm saying,
Yeah,
Billy? I
I do.
mean, I'm not at the stage of favors anymore when I've done the research. I've done the 60 hours of certification studies, passed the test, paid for the licenses, built the brands, the frameworks, the systems, and done the stuff.
Hmm.
How dare you? And then that's where that fear of collaboration comes in
Yes.
because they know they can't write you no check.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I know it's too bad that it has to be that way because yeah, I mean you put a lot of time and effort to get where you are, right? Like you're sharing that knowledge and that value, so it's tough. It's
It's tough, but it's real. And those are the conversations that we have to have as
Yeah,
entrepreneurs because
absolutely.
I've always thrown lifelines, right? If I'm
Mhm.
here to support an organization, trust and believe I'm bringing value.
Yeah,
Your members will always remember Sabrina Lowery, the tech evangelist, rocking the mic and bringing this energy.
that's right.
Best believe, okay? So there's not any way in the world that once you bring me in that you wouldn't bring me back or that you wouldn't allow me to refer someone else in.
Hmm.
That's the problem I'm seeing, right? But it's not even that anymore. Where why not have a conversation about the stipend, the cost, the travel, right? If I'm not even in your region and
Oh
you
yeah,
want me to come, how dare you expect that that's like on my dime, a flight, a hotel, a rental,
it's
what is that
expensive.
about?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that piece of it in your leadership journey as a speaker. Have you had to say no because of some misaligned organizations, Billy?
Um, I I don't think that I have said no yet, just because I'm still on that journey. So I'm trying to take every opportunity that I can, right? Because again, I feel like I'm newer at this, and for me, it's more like, okay, well, if this person sees me at this, then maybe I'll get a job from it. You know what I mean? And it's worked out that way. It has worked out that way. So I would say probably the first, oh gosh, I want to say year and a half. No, first year. I didn't. I would do some gigs for free. Obviously, pay for travel. Um, but now I'm starting to actually get paid because I feel like now I've proven myself enough that people know that I bring the value, and that I'm worth it. And so it is nice to get paid for because you gotta factor in the time traveling too, right? Like especially if I'm going from Montana all the way to the East Coast, that's a full day of travel. And so I guess so far I haven't really dealt with much of that pushback. I mean, people understand like, yeah, we'll pay for your travel and we'll pay you this or whatever. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Good. Well, coming from the mentor hat, I'm always going to protect you in that way. And that is something to consider
Yeah.
because there is no reason that it's not sustainable, Billie.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The not only the cost in your pocket, but the cost of your family, the quality time of those investments that could
Mhm.
have gone elsewhere. So
Oh, for
that's the positioning that I'm doing in the training that I've been attending the past day and a half. I
yeah.
can't wait to tell you about it because what I'm putting out there is about to be in the media. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So we're making some shifts and some pivots in a very, very intentional way because when you are in a position of authority and you are in a position of leadership where you can bring others along to follow what you're doing, your mission is clear. There's nothing to sell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
I sell my brain power every day. And
Mm-hmm.
so I wake up every morning with the mantra, who's going to pay me for my gifts and my smart
I
today?
love that. Yeah, I love that.
Okay. And the same goes true with any industry, right? I can take that same mantra into the real estate business. I
Yeah.
wake up, I want a new listing. I have to wake up and go where the money resides. The
Mm,
money may not be right in my neighborhood. I've got to go across town a neighborhood or two.
yeah.
And so what does that look like? But if I've got that rinse and repeat formula, if I've got my mentors, because even a coach needs a coach, right? Then how do you stay motivated, overcoming these challenges, staying resilient, persevering through all of these things as a leader? You know what? It's all just to give God the glory and just thank Him for our health, to
Mm-hmm.
thank Him for our leadership journeys. But not only that, but Billie, the most important part is for the connections that we make along the way, like
Oh,
you
heck
and
yeah.
me.
Heck yeah. You know what's so funny? As you were talking, I just remembered us sitting here like on one of those coaching calls and you were helping me with my presentation slides. That is so awesome. I love that.
Do you see? Do you see? But it's the paying it forward,
Yeah.
Billie, that works for me because that cultivated a whole relationship that here we are years later and we're
Mhm.
celebrating women's history,
Heck yeah.
making history together once again, girl.
Yep. Yep. And thank you so much for having me on again. I was like, heck yeah, I'll do it.
I love that. I love that so much. I really am pleased. I'm honored that you were here. This conversation has been amazing. I hope the audience has enjoyed it. I want to give you an opportunity to share any parting thoughts.
Yeah.
Where will they find you? I know you just kind of hinted about your upcoming speaking engagements, but I'll let you rock the mic for as long as you need to and just let the people know where to find you and connect with you, okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Connect with me at Billy and B Town, Instagram, TikTok, and then Facebook. It's just Billie Parrott. Yeah, I'm all over the place. YouTube. I'm okay on YouTube. Maybe just follow me on Instagram. I'm still working on that. But yeah, I'm speaking at CRS Celebration this week. So if you are going to be at Celebration, I will be teaching my new class on Reels for real estate. So come check me out there. And I've got a bunch of other speaking gigs coming up this year, which I'm really excited about. I'm actually going to be speaking at RIA, RIA. I always say it wrong. RIA in Denver, which I was like so stoked when I found that out. And Florida Realtors Convention I'll be speaking at too. So yeah, just follow me and connect with me and hope to make some new friends on here.
Oh, I love that so much, Billie. I am so proud of you. I cannot
Oh,
wait to come back to Montana. We
yes.
keep saying that it's going to happen, but I know you've been doing your road trip. So we have to be intentional. It has to be this year, though. Okay.
Okay.
So it's still something that I'm working towards. So you and I just have to make it happen. And so we'll put our resources together and make that happen.
Love it. Do it.
Okay.
I'd love
There's
to have
there's
that.
people out there I need to see and there's things I need to do. So we need to make that happen. Okay.
Okay, got it.
The business is the business.
I love it. Sabrina, and we'll have to go to the Crystal Lounge again and do some karaoke.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, you just want to see the tech evangelist in rare form? Meet me in Billings, Montana. It was a
You
time.
are the funnest, yes. I love
It
it.
was
Well, we could just talk all day long, I think.
Oh, Billy, it's been awesome. I mean, people are still tuned in. So, hey, I guess they loving what we putting down. So,
Oh,
with
good.
that being said, I want to again just give you my love, give you your flowers, let you know that I am watching you. I see you. And I absolutely am proud to call you my friend. I know that you are going to do great things in your neck of the woods, but I also want to see you here in Atlanta. So let's be intentional. Let's make sure we put our heads together. Let's make sure that our networks know how connected we are and that we might be able to help their organizations together. Tag team, a little some Billy and Bree. We can do that.
Love that.
So let's make sure that the audience remembers Billie Parrott coming to you live on Geek Talk with Sabrina Lowery and friends from Billings, Montana. Y'all give her a virtual round of applause. Thanks, girl. I'll see you backstage in a sec. Clip that. Oh, that was an awesome conversation. I hope you all enjoyed another episode of Geek Talk with yours truly, Sabrina Lowery. And Billie Parrott is just somebody I just love. I've just absolutely loved watching her journey. You all, please follow her on social media. That is for your edutainment purposes, okay? Because she got a whole lot of that going on her channels. And if you happen to be in a city, she's coming to a city near you. That's Billie in B Town. On the platforms, all the platforms. And follow me at Sabrina Lowery, and you can connect with our Geek Talk podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still in celebration of Women's History Month, and next week we have a very special guest. Sybil Slade is coming to the mic, and I cannot wait for you all to hear about your financial journey, that financial planning, and all the things to increase your wealth and your financial plans. She's a rock star. So, this has been another episode of Geek Talk, where we give entrepreneurs expert knowledge. And I don't want you all to forget the book launch is happening this Saturday in Towson, Maryland, March 21st. That fourth edition of the Ladies in Tech and Friends. So volume 3, volume 2, volume 1, the book bundle is available at sabrinalowery.com. And volume 4, y'all, guess what? It'll be hot off the presses. I can't wait for that Amazon delivery truck to show up any minute now. So get your copies. You can pre-order at sabrinalowery.com. That Ladies in Tech and Friends book bundle is something that I've got a very special offer with some free shipping for all of you. Go to sabrinalowery.com, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Until next time, make it a great day. Take care.